What is up, everyone? My name is Yesh the Man, and today we are going to be reacting to Kratos versus Asura, the death battle. Now, I know a lot of people really wanted this fight, and I'm really glad that you guys got the fight you wanted if you asked for this one. To me, I don't know. I think it's interesting, but it's not like my cup of tea in terms of like excited, but it does look interesting, I will say. So I'm really excited to be watching this. As for who I'm rooting for, I'm definitely rooting for Kratos because I know more about him. I have heard of Asura a little bit, but I don't know too much on him. I know more about Kratos. Now, I actually have never played both God of War and Asura's Wrath. I've never played either of the games. The only reason why I know more about God of War is because I've seen more people play it and it's more like familiar with me. And I've just seen people talk about it more on the internet, so that's why I know more about Kratos. But I've never actually played any of the games. I want to, but I just want to play from the first one to the latest one. That's what I want to do. So that's why I haven't played any of the God of War games. But we'll see what goes. I do think if I had to choose on who I think is gonna win, I don't really know. I've seen people have arguments for either side, even though I know Kratos is really overrated in terms of strength, but he's still pretty strong. It's just not as strong as people say he is, but I'm really excited to see this nonetheless, and let's just get this started. Death battle.
Kratos versus Asura.
Yes,
the
sir.
Ghost of Sparta versus the Wrathful Destructor. Cause sometimes you just wanna punch a god in the face. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win
A death battle. Let's do it.
In the beginning, the Primordials waged war across existence, a series of cosmic clashes that birthed the universe.
Boom! Now that's what I call a big bang.
From Ceto's death, the oceans would flow. From Uranus's strikes, the stars were spawned, and so forth. Thus, the world itself was born from violence.
Wow.
Starting a whole messy cycle. Uranus was overthrown by his Titan son, Kratos,
I know
who
him.
was overthrown by his Olympian son, Zeus, who battled his own son, Kratos.
As a classic bastard child of Zeus, Kratos was left among Spartan mortals, far exceeding all among him. He became a fierce warrior, winning many a battle, until finally cornered by ruthless barbarians.
Ares, destroy these guys who are kicking my ass, and my life is yours.
Oh my
The
God.
deal was made, and Kratos was joined at the bone with the Blades of Chaos, a set of chain swords and basically a badass
I do know
whirlwind of
those.
flaming steel.
But Ares had a scheme. While doing work for his god, Kratos accidentally murdered his own family,
Whoa.
permanently marked by the ashes of his wife and daughter. He was, forevermore, the Ghost of Sparta.
So, he was kinda understandably really pissed off. Time for a new god of war. The gods were crapping their togas in fear as the new god of war took out his rage on all of them. And got some new gear out of it, too.
With Poseidon's trident and Icarus's wings, Kratos dominated both sea and sky. He also has a tendency to carry powerful severed heads, like Medusa's.
And the claws of Hades could steal souls, even the soul of Hades himself. Should have thought that one through, man.
Neither Perseus or Hercules were a match for Kratos, nor was Helios, the sun god capable of moving stars and spreading light across the entire underworld.
He fought Atlas, the Titan of Strength, who broke the load-bearing pillar of the universe. So Kratos forced him to hold up the cosmos on his own instead.
And he could do it with just one hand, according to the novelization.
Even his grandpappy Kronos failed to stop him. You know, the guy who overthrew the primordial that punched the universe into existence?
Causing shockwaves that moved over a quadrillion times faster than light, a frankly incomprehensible feat.
Then there's Daddy Zeus.
Who proved a serious challenge, until Kratos drew perhaps his ultimate weapon, the Blade of Olympus.
Yep.
It can make tornadoes, lightning, force
I know
fields.
a lot of
and
his
it
weapons.
can stab the hell out of you. It siphons godly energy and can pull enough to even kill Zeus. Like father, like son.
Even while Kratos ultimately released hope across the Greek world, he could only do so after annihilating everything.
Like a badass, he was unstoppable, non-stop killing and sex and even more killing. And yet, he couldn't be any more depressed.
His wife and daughter were still gone. What was he to do?
He didn't know. He wandered aimlessly for years, somehow stumbling into Norse mythology where he met Faye, his second wife. Good start, buddy.
Kratos had a new lease on life, but he
I
could
like
not
him better
escape
with
his
the
past
beard.
mistakes.
There's a reason he hid his swords in a dingy basement. Even so, Faye insisted he could do better. So he became a dad to a new boy.
Easily the toughest task he ever undertook, especially after Faye unfortunately died of a mysterious illness.
Damn it, not again! But hey, it wasn't Kratos' fault this time, and Faye left the tools he'd need to keep the boy safe, including the Leviathan Axe.
I know
Far
that,
from the
yeah.
whirling rage of the Blades of Chaos, the Leviathan Axe was deliberate and mighty, said to rival Mjolnir itself.
Thor wishes Mjolnir was as cool as this axe. It's imbued with ice magic and a poison even the gods fear. It can be summoned to Kratos' hand from a distance, and it even shatters souls.
Kratos may have once been a sword of vengeance, but with his new weapons and a new purpose, he stood as a shield against the godly Asir.
Too bad he just can't help but get in trouble with gods. But now he knew how to control his anger.
Which is even more important than it sounds. Kratos' Spartan rage summons an inner strength with magical properties.
He can even get so pissed off that he straight up heals himself. That seems like the opposite of what should happen.
Not all anger is problematic, and Kratos wields plenty of new weapons and relics to channel his rage through.
Like the Dropnir Ring, which can summon a bunch of wind spears. They can absorb all types of energy and blast it back.
Wow,
He even has
I-
relics and magic
This
that
is
can
like a lot
warp
of
space and slow down
information
time.
for the
Naturally,
God of
he
War.
contested with the strongest of the Norse gods, including the god of thunder Thor, who was powerful enough to fight the fire giant Surtur and the world serpent Jormungandr at the same time.
Oh, and that fire giant would be the cause of actual Ragnarok. You can't defeat me, Thor. I know,
Okay.
but he can.
yeah.
Well, not exactly.
mean?
Freyr, the rain god, held off Ragnarok for a considerable time on his own, and the sheer power of Ragnarok shook Yggdrasil down to its very roots.
That's the World Tree, which is like a literal tree that connects the whole universe.
According to Freya, the tree's very existence supports all of creation among its boughs. Every strand transcending time, transcending space. Everything comes back to the tree.
So it's kind of like Kratos lives in a really, really, really big treehouse.
In his quest to free the Norse world, Kratos reclaimed old weapons by reckoning with his past sins, even taking up the Blade of Olympus once again.
Even better, he actually got to be a decent dad. And now the boy is a man and also a bear.
Kratos made a lifetime of mistakes, but this future would be different. He'd be more than he was in the past, not just a god of war, but a leader, a father, and a defender, a god of hope.
Pretty cool.
This battle is
I
sponsored
really
by
need to
Robin
play.
Hood Gold.
Hold on.
With
All right, there we go.
long ago, a demigod fell from the heavens,
I know nothing
only to
about
rise
this.
from the depths of Naraka after 12,000 years.
I've never.
After 12,000 years, he's free
Oh,
to
God.
punch everything dumb enough to get in his way. He was the demigod of wrath, Asura.
Asura, yeah.
Alongside 7 other demigod generals, Asura served as defender
I
of
only know,
humanity
like,
against
one
the
feat he
impure
did, that's
Goma,
it.
dark spirit monsters infesting the world.
And the demigods battled the Goma by wielding a mystic energy formed from human prayer, mantra.
By advancing technology with mantra, the Guardian Generals became essentially hyper-powerful mystic cyborgs. They could each harness mantra through a different emotional affinity. For August, it was greed. For Yasha, it was melancholy.
I'll give you one chance to guess what Asura's is.
By tapping into his wrath, Asura can take many forms for battle, like the 6-armed Vajra, a state powerful enough to subdue the embodiment of the planet's will and the source of the Goma, Vlitra.
But he wasn't angry enough to put Goma Vlitra down for good. At least not yet. Of course, since he's literally powered by wrath, no enemy of Asura's would be stupid enough to do something that would make him even more mad, right? Right?
Funny you should say that.
God damn it.
First off, Asura is not some one-dimensional anger machine. In myth, the Asuras were powerful and aggressive beings, sure, but not inherently evil, just like Asura himself. He's a warrior, but also a husband with a daughter. Mithra,
And Mithra has the unique power to supercharge mantra energy.
which gave Asura's prideful commander, Deus, an idea. If he could weaponize Mithra, literally wiring her up to a super weapon, the Guardian Generals could maybe finally end Goma Vlitra for good.
Well, obviously Asura wasn't gonna go along with that. So Deus framed Asura for killing the Emperor, murdered his wife, kidnapped Mithra, and then just straight up killed him. What a dick.
But true to his nature, Asura was literally too angry to die.
Wow.
So long as a single part of his body remains and can possess mantra, he can climb back out of Naraka, a sort of limbo underworld between life and death. Thanks to some coaxing from a strange golden spider, he did just that, with an all-new purpose in mind.
Make the gods pay! Oh yeah, they're calling themselves gods now. Turns out they're all assholes who started sacrificing thousands of innocent people to try to power up. So Asura got really pissed off.
And through his rage, Asura's power exploded, rising enough to throw giants like ragdolls, shatter whole moons, and destroy a fellow deity,
I know
Wyzen.
this.
Who
Yep.
could dwarf the planet
I saw
and
this
wreck it
feed.
with just a finger. Look at this.
And he held
Asura
it. That
is
was
so
awesome.
powerful, his soul cannot be manipulated by the Goma or the deities. He can propel himself with mantra to fly, harden his fists to break steel, fire explosive energy blasts.
And headbutt you so hard you wish you could die even faster. The dude literally stockpiles anger into a burst of energy that can one-shot even the toughest of foes. And when he goes unlimited mode, he can rapid-fire those super attacks without overheating.
Asura's vengeance quest wasn't all shouting and explosions, though. I mean, it was a lot of that, but he also tried to protect people from the gods, including a girl who very much reminded him of his own daughter.
Yeah, Asura's the kind of guy who wants to be a great dad, but all he knows how to do is punch anything that upsets his kid. Like that one dad that knocks out a
Oh,
ref at a Little
gosh.
League game.
And then the gods killed that girl too, along with her whole village, sparking Asura to unleash his berserker aura.
You know how the
This is-
gods were sacrificing thousands of people to power up? Well, Asura got so freaking angry, he built up enough mantra to match them, even though they've been building up energy for thousands of years. Seriously, guys, you're pissing off the guy who literally gets more powerful the angrier he gets. What did you think was gonna happen?
Yet even in berserker mode, Asura never lost total control.
Berserker Asura adds even more extra arms, and they're big and glowy now. The man can launch so much angry mantra he wiped out the god's whole space fleet in seconds.
Asura's anger raised to levels so high even he couldn't contain it, scorching him into his wrath form.
Even though it hurts Asura while he's in it, this form is still perfect for absolutely shit-stomping a snobby demigod's face in. It's okay though, his brother-in-law punched the edge out of him.
Yasha saw the error of the deity's senseless sacrifices and teamed up with Asura for a coup against Deus.
Awesome, they're bros again! Just in time for Asura to hit his former boss with so much mantra that he burst, then dive into the planet's core to obtain power equal to 1,000 arms! His mantra form, finally, a power capable of killing Vlitra in a big planet-busting blast!
Deus was defeated and Gaia was saved. Yet, Asura's wrath hadn't been quelled.
Title drop!
It turns out that spider that guided him was actually Chakravartin, the creator of mantra and the entire universe.
And everyone's suffering was part of his plan to make Asura his heir. Chakra kidnapped Mithra, because of course he did, and tested Asura in the form of a massive golden Buddha statue. Check out the size of it! That thing can literally hold a galaxy in its palm. Naturally,
Wow.
Asura and the statue threw hands.
Enter the mantra reactor. Capable of holding 7 trillion souls, Asura instead used it as a vessel for a far greater power.
His own unfiltered rage. At last,
This
Asura
game
could
looks
show the
so
world his
cool.
real colors.
Everyone from the humans to the 7 deities to Chakravartin saw Asura's anger as a weapon, a sword for tyranny, when that was never who he was. His rage was really a shield to protect humanity, and most of all, his daughter.
A shield larger than a planet! Unbound by his past limits, Asura's ultimate destructor form effortlessly punched through asteroids larger than nebulas, dodged planet-sized lasers moving 2 quadrillion times faster than light, and obliterated whole stars!
Chakravartin was understandably impressed and offered Asura a chance to take his place. Asura smiled at the offer and extended his arm.
Right into Chakra's face! As if he was gonna let some god trample over more worlds. Instead, he literally beat the QTEs out of God, obliterating him and his plans in a cosmic explosion.
But with Chakravartin dead, so was the concept of mantra itself. Those who depended on it could not survive, including Asura.
Hey, as long as Mithra was fine, it was worth it. Besides, he'll reincarnate millions of years later, still kicking ass, ready to smack a random thug, a meteor, or Ryu. Right in the balls!
It's interesting. Despite the dangers of uncontrolled anger, Asura's wrath gave him the power to save everything. All because of just one thing.
Some bastard made his daughter cry, so they had to pay. Now that's a god I can get behind.
That was cool.
This battle is sponsored by Prize Pit.
Okay. Asura's the game Asura's from, that looks dope. I think I might have to pick that up just to see how good it is. Now after looking at the analysis, I'm a little divided, but I feel like Asura might take the win. Just by hearing all the things he's done, I think he's gonna win for that. I am rooting for Kratos, and when I do death battles, I always root for the character I want to win. So I'm rooting for Kratos. If he does lose, I can understand. If he wins, I'll be a little shocked after hearing all that from Asura, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm just looking for a good fight. Let's just get this started. Let's do it.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Let's see who wins. Kratos. Ooh. This is very interesting.
It's true then. The god of war is on Gaia. But
Awesome.
not for long. You do not want this fight. Run!
Okay. Ooh. Are they splitting apart the realm itself? Or it's probably just a building? Oh, the button thing! That was cool. Oh my goodness. Did this man just teleport? Wow.
You let your wrath consume you. I have been down that road before. Shut up! Very well.
That is so dope. This is awesome. This is pretty cool. Is he already going power up like that? Oh! Oh my goodness! I don't think that's gonna work.
This is not my end!
Oh, I don't think Kratos is surviving this. Dang, that's a huge fist. He's
Death has not heard me yet, Titan!
oh,
But you deserve a worthy end!
oh my gosh.
You are a monster no longer. I never was.
Oh, did Kratos won?
K.O.
Okay.
Well, I guess Asura's wrath really is gone. But are we sure this is how it'd go? Even though Asura can blow up stars?
Yeah.
Asura had
like,
some amazing displays of apocalyptic destruction, but the full scope of their speed, experience, versatility, and power sheds a surprising light.
At first glance, speed seems like a shoo-in for Asura. Kratos is quick, but he never dodged a universe-crossing laser.
That doesn't mean he couldn't. Remember, as usual, we look at these characters at their peak, free from gameplay restrictions.
Yeah, we're looking at
but-
everything in canon, and Kratos fought and killed Helios, the sun god.
From the moment he's introduced, Helios is emphasized to be immensely powerful. Without Helios, darkness would shroud everything. His light was fast enough to illuminate the entire underworld while Kratos sailed through it, taking a few hours at most.
So, kinda hard to quantify, but that's consistent with the shockwaves the primordials caused that spawned the universe.
Arguments could be made for which is faster, the primordial shockwaves or Chakravartin's intergalactic lasers. Since it's so close, it's safest to assume their speeds are generally even.
But what does speed matter if you don't know how to use it? Let's cover experience. Asura lived across centuries, obviously a lot longer than Kratos.
And while Kratos eventually learned to control his rage, Asura pretty much always had that control.
So Asura easily takes experience. But when it comes to versatility, he couldn't match all the weapons and abilities Kratos had.
Sure, Asura's quite skilled and a monster at martial arts, but his fighting style mostly relies on one thing.
A whole lot of punching.
Kratos' weapons, magic, runes, relics, and even his rage gave him far more options in combat, slowing down time, healing injuries, and most importantly, multiple weapons that could drain a variety of energies. Like Mantra.
Yeah, when Asura loses all his Mantra energy, that's it for him. So the Dropnir spears and the Blade of Olympus gave Kratos exactly what he needed. Versatility, and multiple ways to finish this for good before Asura just comes crawling back out of the underworld.
If he could. Asura's resurrections take years or whole centuries, days at best.
But all this assumes Kratos could match Asura's crazy strength. All roads lead to power, which should go to Asura, right? Look at what he can do! If this came down to who made the bigger kaboom, he'd kick Kratos' ass in 2 seconds.
But a closer examination of their feats reveals the truth.
At his peak, Asura overpowered Chakravartin, annihilating that cosmic golden god.
By measuring the dimensions of Chakravartin's body and scaling it up to match the size of this galaxy-eclipsing statue, we can determine its volume. Add in the density of gold, for good measure assuming the form is solid throughout, and its mass far exceeds not just our galaxy, but our entire observable universe.
Destroying that big golden god would need energy on par with obliterating our universe 91,000 times.
Extremely impressive and unfathomable. However, the same idea applies to Ragnarok shaking the roots of Yggdrasil.
Ragnarok is obviously a bit of a different beast than Kratos, but what really matters is what Freyr did.
Right, Freyr, a god comparable to Kratos, held back Ragnarok's power for a significant time.
So Kratos should be capable of the same level of power, or even more.
Using an official map and knowing the world tree's branches encompass all of existence, we can measure its size and volume.
And we know this map is accurate because it shows these two realms conjoined, which we see in-game.
Even if we assume the Tree of the Realms is only 1% solid, a significant lowball that Kratos should easily scale above, shaking such an incomprehensibly large structure would require enough force to destroy our universe's mass energy 9 million times over.
That's almost 100 times greater than Chakravartin's destruction. And this isn't some one-off outlier. I mean, a realm-shattering supergiant doesn't sound too different from the other Titans and Olympians Kratos defeated.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's easy to think that we never see Kratos do anything that matches Asura, but we do. Helios' speed matches Chakravartin, and Kratos outsped him. Atlas is strong enough to lift all of reality, and Kratos overpowered him. Kronos defeated the creator of the universe in a one-on-one fight.
Kronos was weakened
same as
at this.
Asura, and Kratos killed Kronos.
But
add in the
Kronos
clear
was, like,
numerical
really
comparison of
weakened at
Chakravartin,
that
Ragnarok,
point,
and Yggdrasil, and Kratos takes the edge in power.
But hey, Capcom, if you give us Asura's Wrath 2, we'll try this again.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Asura's The Sun Rises. The god of wrath was Kratos.
The winner is Kratos.
I don't know, maybe.
But
I could.
what if?
An alternate ending. Oh, these.
Pitch for Asura's Wrath 2. The end. Next time on
What's next?
Death Battle.
Ghost Rider versus Spawn?
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
Oh, that. I'm gonna talk about that in a few minutes, but okay. Well, before I talk about that, let me talk about this one. Okay, so this one, I honestly thought that Asura would win, and to be completely honest, that some of the feats they used for Kratos, he needed help with, and I feel like they wanked Kratos a lot. But I don't know, like, I feel like it's okay to disagree with this one. But at the same time, I don't know, like, I understand if you disagree with the outcome, because I don't know, like, I feel like it can go, I feel like it's okay to disagree with this one. I physically cannot, I don't really know that much on either franchise to actually say that I 100% disagree or agree with the outcome, because I don't really know that much about these characters. Because what they could have said, they could have wanked it, or they could not have read the context or stuff like that. But I don't know, like, it could have been wrong, it could have been right. I don't know. It's okay. I feel like it's okay. For me, it's fine if you disagree or agree with the outcome. I don't know, I'm mixed about this, but it was a good fight nevertheless. Those alternate endings, they should do more often. But yeah. As for Ghost Rider versus Spawn, I'm gonna tell you right now, Spawn is getting his butt kicked. I'm sorry. Spawn is so overrated in terms of strength. Spawn is going to get absolutely destroyed. And I like Spawn. I think Spawn is really cool. But there is no way. There's no way he's beating the Ghost Rider. If Ghost Rider loses, that I'm calling BS on that. But I'm just gonna have to see what they're gonna say for each character. I like this episode. It was a pretty decent one. But that's all I really have for today. If you guys like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. And by the way, go watch the original video before watching my reaction. I'm gonna say that in the beginning of the video. But yeah, that's all for me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.